Meanwhile, Iran continues to pound targets in the Gulf region. One person was killed this Tuesday in Abu Dhabi from falling debris after an Iranian missile was shot down. Two medical personnel were injured in a similar incident in Kuwait. Now, Iran has been targeting military sites, but also civilian targets in the region, including residential buildings, hotels, and airports. For more, we can cross to our correspondent in Doha, Hoda Abdel-Hamid. Hoda, let's start with the apparent death of Ali Larijani. What was his relationship with the Gulf Cooperation Council, especially with Qatar and Oman, who were acting as mediators just before the start of this war?
But I think he was key really to Iran's outreach to this region. The backdrop of this is that the GCC and Iran were two parties deeply suspicious of each other, both ideologically and strategically. It took decades really for them to get close to each other. And Larijani played a big role in that, especially with Saudi Arabia, that is considered the power when it comes to the GCC area. It's only back in 2023 that the two countries opened embassies in each other's capital, and Larijani made a significant visit last year, 2025. He met with Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. So things took as long as that for the two sides to actually have significant talks. Now, when it comes to Qatar and Oman, he viewed these two countries as useful channels for mediation and for the nuclear negotiations. They were often contacts. He came here a lot to Doha, and Qatari officials went to Iran. So certainly there was a relationship. And you know, when these kind of negotiations happen, there's also a personal relationship that builds up between the two sides. So he was a very pragmatic person, and according to officials I spoke to, he said it was easy. He was easy to talk to, and the differences between them were being combed out simply because there was an open conversation that was flowing between the two sides.
Well, so Hoda, where does this leave the diplomatic efforts of the Gulf countries at this stage?
But I think they'll wait and see, first of all, who is going to replace him. I heard, we were just talking about the fact that the structure in Iran is always made for the fact that there's going to be a second, a third, a fourth person ready to fit in, but that's not enough. You need to have the personality for it. There needs to be that chemistry for, different delegations to sit together and to be able to tackle very difficult files, to trust each other, and to try to bring some sort of breakthrough. So I think at this moment they will wait and see. Now the backdrop to all of this is that there is daily attacks on these countries. In the last 24 hours, we had 4 waves of attacks in Qatar alone. And in the rest of the GCC, there's also been several attacks. So at the moment, the GCC countries are extremely angry with Iran. They feel betrayed. So it's going to take a long time, really, for them to want to, especially for Qatar and Oman, may I add, to want to reopen and retrust Iran. That's the biggest problem at this stage for the GCC countries. Especially, we heard that over and over again from the Qatari prime minister that, there is a sense of betrayal. There is this trust that was between these two sides, this sort of entente that was between the two sides has been broken. So they will wait and see who is the new person appointed, what is his character, and then from there they will try to push it further, because at the end of the day, there is a belief that nothing will work, no military campaign will work, only the diplomatic track could eventually bring some stability to this region.
We'll have to leave it there. Our correspondent in Doha, Hoda Abdel-Hamid. Hoda, thanks so much. We appreciate it.